Bake with us, Canada. This week's baker is Opeyemi from the Cakery Zone. And this week's recipe is for Pumpkin Crumb Cake Muffins.
Welcome to another yummy episode of Baking for Change. I'm your host, Wendy Pauls, and my guest baker today is Opeyemi from the Cakery Zone.
Yes.
So before we get into what we're making today, and we always invite our people at home to be baking along with us. So if you need to grab some stuff and get it ready, we're going to be chatting for a couple of minutes here. Go get your ingredients and get ready to bake right along with us. Before we get into it, tell me a little bit about your business, where you are, what your main focus is, and so on.
Okay, so my business is the Cakery Zone and it's based in Waterloo. We initially used to be in Kitchener, but we moved to Waterloo in 2022.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically a custom cake business and we're focused on doing custom cakes.
Okay.
So custom cakes for various occasions like birthdays, weddings, anniversaries, baby showers, and the likes. Yeah. And in addition to that, we also make like cupcakes and treats, and we also have like special like products like maybe Valentine's, Mother's Day that we just drop here.
Yes.
So that's major.
Do you have a type of cake that is most popular or that you bake most often?
I guess I wouldn't really say there's a type of cake that is most popular. I would say vanilla on one side,
Like a classic?
Yeah, vanilla and chocolate marble are like high on the demand side. Yeah.
So tell us what we're going to be making today and what we're going to be starting with.
Okay, so we're going to be making pumpkin crumb cake. It's actually a muffin, not cupcake.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
which is a type of cake. It's like a little mini cake.
It's the other one that makes you feel, happy with yourself or not eating too many calories. So yeah, so it's I really love this one because I've been looking forward to eating a pumpkin cake because pumpkin is not something that I grew up with.
Right.
So it was something I really wanted to try, and yeah, so that's what I'll be doing. It's my favorite. If I have to choose like a muffin, that's my favorite. Yeah.
And what was interesting about pumpkin for you if you didn't grow up eating it? Because to me that would be weird, using a vegetable for like a sweet thing seems sort of strange.
Right? Yeah.
Was it because you tried something pumpkin and you thought it was delicious?
Yeah, it was just out of curiosity.
Okay.
Right? And it didn't look scary, and you always see people say, oh, I love pumpkins, pumpkin pies and everything. I'm like, okay, let's give it a try.
I know.
Yeah.
And it just lends itself to the sweet stuff with cinnamon and stuff like
Exactly.
that. All right, what's the first step and what ingredients should we be prepping at home?
Yeah, so because it's a pumpkin crumb cake, so on the pumpkin batter itself, we're going to put like some crumb toppings on it. So these are crumb toppings we're going to make.
Okay, that's our first step.
Yeah, so that's melted butter. This is flour, all-purpose flour, and this is granulated sugar, and this is light brown sugar. You can also use dark if you have that.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
This is light, and this is pumpkin spice.
Okay. All right. So what do we do with our ingredients here?
Yeah, so we're first of all going to mix all these dry ingredients together, and into this I'm going to use this wooden ladle and just put everything in here.
This looks like it might be at my level.
Yes,
Not
no.
too fussy.
It's not intimidating. Muffins
No,
are
I like
actually
that.
easier to make. Like, you don't have to have a mixer to make a muffin.
Yeah,
So that's good. You don't feel
I like
pressured.
accessible recipes.
You don't feel pressured to doing that. So you're just
So
gonna
dry first.
yes, dry.
Okay.
You're just gonna make sure you mix it all together.
Oh, and I'm already smelling the spices.
Yes,
I
yes.
love that. I apologize in advance if my stomach starts growling as we're making it today.
So like you can see, it's well mixed together, like cohesive. So after getting to this stage, when everything is all mixed, then we're going to put in the melted butter in.
This is the fun part.
So you just want to make sure you stir it in till you get like a crumb. You don't want to overmix it.
So we've got our crumble topping set aside, and we're about to make the
batter.
The batter. That's the word I'm looking for. Batter. I'm like, dough. Before we start there, tell me what got you started in baking here. Did you bake when you were younger? What preceded you opening your business here?
Yeah, so I actually used to have a cake business back home in Nigeria.
Okay.
Before moving here. And so when I moved here with my kids, and initially because I moved with my 2 kids, and when I got in here, that was just shortly before COVID struck, right?
Oh,
and I think it was just getting a bit difficult for my kids settling in, and I thought, you know what, maybe I'll better do something else other than getting a regular job so I could have more time for them. And since I already had a business prior to coming, I just said, you know what, I think I'm going to do that.
Oh, so that's fantastic.
So I'm just going to mix all the dry ingredients together. So I'm going to pour them in here.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And I like to mix with a whisk.
Yeah. Well, it really kind of blends everything a little bit better, doesn't it?
So we'll go ahead and do that.
See, when you pre-measure your ingredients, you can just dump everything in. Makes it so simple.
Yeah.
And great if you have a dishwasher, either an actual dishwasher or a human dishwasher.
Yeah, human.
My husband will sometimes do that for me because I'm the messy baker. That's my name for myself because I just have stuff everywhere.
Yes.
And he's more of a clean up as he goes kind of person.
Oh, yeah.
Which type do you tend to be? Do you clean as you go?
Or? I think it depends on what I have to do. Like if I'm in a hurry and I don't have time on my side, I'm like, you know what, I'm going to deal with you later.
See, that's what I usually do. I kind of figure I'll deal with it later. Let's get the stuff made. Oh, I love pumpkin products, so I'm really
looking forward to this.
Right? I am so looking forward to this. Yeah. I find the weight a bit of torture.
Mixing together with a whisk, so.
And we're just trying to get them blended together.
And the whisk does a better job, I find, than
Look at that. My anticipation is building. And I have made, I mentioned earlier, like a pumpkin loaf, but I have never made one with a crumble topping. So I'm interested to see how that improves the recipe.
This is what it looks like. So now I'm going to put this into the other, like the flour mixture, and I'm just going to fold it in. So this goes into it. I always like to scoop out as much as I can.
Like, don't leave stuff in the bowl. Let's not waste.
So this is folding in. So when you want to fold in, you don't want to stir. That's not what you're doing. So folding in is like you're cutting through the mixture, like you want to write a J, right? Like a J, and you flip it over. And then you turn the bowl, so you're going to another section. So that way.
And keep making a J.
Like a J. So when you're told, like when you want to bake and you're told fold in the ingredients, that's how you do it.
This is what you're doing. Yeah.
And not stirring.
Yeah.
So so we're going to do that until we don't have any more flour pockets left. I know if you had a like a mixer, you could do this in the lowest speed.
Right.
Well, I just prefer doing it by hand. Really.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't want to over mix or it's going to end up being heavy.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Which we don't want. Absolutely. And once we have this mixed, are we ready to
scoop it in?
Scoop it in. See, we're getting closer. It's ridiculous. I'm so already known for anticipating tasting the recipe.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, if I were at home, I'd even be like licking spoons, licking the bowl, the whole process. But
I guess it's the egg that doesn't make me do that.
I know. There's always warnings
Even with
against it.
eggs,
So I'll
like,
say, don't try this at home, but when I'm at my home, I do.
Don't be like me.
Exactly. Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, so
Oh, that's looking good.
this is folded.
Yeah.
And you can see like pockets of flour,
Yeah.
right? So we're going to scoop this in.
Mm-hmm. And then we're going to be ready to pop it in the oven, right?
Yes, exactly.
Ooh, let's go. We're ready to start scooping.
Yes, so I'm gonna scoop with the spoons.
Mm-hmm.
Ideally, it would have been easier if I had like an ice cream scoop to work with, but
Yes.
you have to use what you're.
That's right. Sometimes you have to improvise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna scoop in.
And do you typically use liners?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, okay. Because I know liners is an option. Some people use like parchment paper, squares.
So I think because we're going to go back and put like the crumb toppings on it,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't want to really like fill it all up with
Okay.
the batter, right? You just want to.
So maybe like 2/3?
Yes, exactly.
Look at me learning, practicing my fractions.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a fair bit of math
In
and
everything.
baking.
In everything.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a nice consistency.
Mm-hmm. And after a while, it's like you know the right amount to scoop up.
Yeah, yeah. Now, do you have different size scoops that you use, or do you have just one size that you use for all your baking?
I actually have different size, but sometimes I just go with one and
Mm-hmm.
make do with that. Except the really tiny ones, like the mini cupcakes.
Yes,
Yeah, then
yeah.
you have to use a very tiny
Little scoop?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's because of spills like that, like this little one. That's
That's
why
right.
that's why I prefer using a scoop, because with a spoon.
I know, it can drip out versus your
Exactly.
perfect measurement.
Mhm.
We're just putting you on the spot here, making you use what
Yeah.
we've got.
It's actually a thick batter, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not really like as thin as the cupcake ones.
Yeah.
That would have really
They
been a problem.
can, a lot of cake batters can actually pour.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. This is kind of between that and a cookie batter that's even stiffer.
Just add a little bit more. to
Yes.
those ones.
Get it just perfect.
Mm.
Yes, because we want our muffins to be consistently sized.
Mhm. Before they turn to the taste muffins.
Yes. And how long are these going to go in the oven for?
So it's going to be baked at 425 degrees for like 5 minutes. And then I reduce the temperature to like 350 for like 15 minutes. That's, it's higher at first because you want it to rise up properly. But you don't want to continue baking at that temperature because
Right.
you get burnt and tough and like kind
Okay.
of hard. So the lower temperature makes it softer.
I've never done a temperature adjustment on a muffin before. Actually, I have a pumpkin pie recipe that it does a temperature adjustment. It starts high and then I drop the temp, but I've never done it on
I think I
a
do that
muffin.
for almost everything.
Yeah.
Like my cakes, I do that. I do it for my cupcakes too and muffins. Yeah, I basically do that except my my meat pies. Oh, patties, Nigerian meat pies. I don't do that for those ones. But
Too bad I don't get to taste those today. Maybe next time.
yeah, maybe. Okay, I think we have more batter, so we just leave that aside since we just have one.
Yeah, we're just doing one pan today. But so this would make
Maybe like 4 more.
okay.
Like 4 more. This
So
was
about
like-
16 muffins.
Yes.
Goodie Goodie is a non-profit bakery offering training and jobs for refugee youth.
Hi, it's Stephen at Goodie Goodie, and that was Wendy Pauls, the host of the Baking for Change show. We're getting ready to launch our first ever pop-up bakery, and we could really use your help. We want to earn our way, not just accept donations. So 100% of the profit from our bakery sales and 100% of your donation goes towards paying our young refugee staff. Everyone at Goodie Goodie is a volunteer, and we don't pay for things like rent or advertising. So our administration costs are almost zero, which makes us a pretty good choice when deciding who you want to support. There's a donation link right on our website, as well as in the description section of this video. And the more you donate, the more refugee kids we can bring into our program. For more information, visit goodiegoodie.ca.
And I'm just gonna scoop it onto the batter.
Ooh,
right?
Okay, I'm already loving this.
So I'm not gonna go too heavy, just because I want to be sure everybody gets.
Sure.
I want to make sure each of the muffins get one. Oh, this one is probably big. Just gonna dump you here.
Yes, I'm already starting to imagine.
And the oven is preheated, right? So
yes.
It just goes straight in.
That's great. So yeah, we're on our kind of last step pre-baking.
And you're eyeballing the quantity, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be halfway and say, oh.
Yes, so something to pay attention to. Yes, looking at the quantity you have in the bowl, decide how much to spread out for your amount of muffins you're making.
After you're done baking it, that's all to it, except the icing drizzle. I'm really in there for the decorations.
Oh, okay.
So you don't really decorate muffins.
Yeah,
so
no, that's true.
I'm like, no, even though I love making delicious stuff, I also love the decorating part. Like that's the fun part for me. So when there's nothing, it just looks boring afterwards.
Where can people see some pictures of your cakes?
So everything is on my website, www.thecakeryzone.ca.
All right.
Yeah, and also on Instagram, the Cakery Zone.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. I love looking at pics. It's so impressive.
Yeah. So okay, we did a good job. So we're just gonna spread this on those.
Last little bit.
And I think most Canadians are sweet.
Yes, I think so. I think you're right. Yeah. I'll vouch for this Canadian.
What?
I'll vouch for this Canadian liking.
Yeah, I know they are.
Oh man, that looks great.
Okay, guys.
All right.
So I'm just gonna pack it in.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I had to wash my my hand, because I'm gonna pack this in really nice and firm.
Just to get it, I guess you want it to like kind of stick, right?
Yeah,
or else it's just gonna fall off when you take it out. And we want more of it to get in your mouth.
Exactly.
It's kind of important.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so I think that's good, right?
All right.
So it's gonna go straight.
Ready for the oven. Guys, look at these. They're gorgeous. And you can't smell them, but we can smell them, and they smell really good. But I want to keep things moving along because you know that my favorite part of the show is coming up, the tasting part. So let's keep going. What are we doing now?
So we're going to do the icing. It's optional actually, but I think it's really nice. We're just going to make a little drizzle over the muffin, and we're going to make it using milk, 2 tablespoons of milk, maple syrup, and some icing sugar. So I already have 2 tablespoons of milk here, and I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of maple syrup to this.
And this is real maple syrup. A Canadian staple.
Yes, exactly.
Now, could you get this in
Nigeria? I'd never tasted maple syrup.
So what would you use? Would you just
think we had the, I told you I didn't used to make this back then.
Yeah,
just because we didn't have pumpkins.
Yeah. So I guess that maple as a flavor, it would be not
maybe artificial or something.
Sure. Okay.
Not the real thing, because next, this is the icing sugar, and I'm just gonna sieve it so that it removes the lumps, because if it has lumps and you put in this, it's gonna clog the teeth.
Right. Yes. Then it's not going to pour through when you're drizzling. Yeah.
So this is a very small sieve.
Yeah.
I can make it work. So I'm just gonna put it in there.
Yeah. We only had either big or small. This looks kind of fun.
Yeah, just gonna push it through.
Do your boys ever help you bake?
They just like to eat it.
Sort of like me today, right? Just watching her do all the work, and then I'm gonna just eat it.
Just want to eat it. Right? That's it. But they help with the cleanup, though.
Oh,
so,
do they?
Yeah,
oh,
they
that's
do.
good. Yeah.
They do.
Because some kids really do enjoy baking.
Baking, yeah. I think my younger son would enjoy doing that, but I think he would enjoy decorating more than baking.
Yeah, that is a fun part.
This is baking.
How did you learn how to do decorating?
So actually, I learned how to bake way before learning how to decorate. And I think what made me learn how to decorate was when I had my kids, and because we really decorate well in Nigeria, but I guess most times I was disappointed at the cake itself, because I believe a cake shouldn't just all look, so beautiful. Then you take a bite and you're disappointed.
Right.
So that happened so many times, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna learn how to decorate. Then I can make the cakes myself, because I can bake well. I just can't decorate. So that's why I always had to buy cakes for my kids. So that's what made me learn how to decorate. And then when I decorated my cakes, my first few cakes were nothing to write home about.
Yeah. Well, there's some real skill and technique involved.
Yes, exactly. And once I started decorating and seeing like the kind of joy I get from decorating, there was no going back. I just love it.
Yeah. Does that skill show up in other areas of your life? Like, are you artistic?
Yeah, I'd always loved, when I was younger, I loved drawing and coloring and things like that. Yeah, so I think it definitely plays a good role. And then when we learned how to decorate, it was mostly like the vintage type of piping. And because I had like a very steady hand, that also came in very handy.
Oh yes, that's true. If you don't have a steady hand, that wouldn't work well with some of the fine things.
Wobbly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, so that really helped. So yeah, slowly but surely we're there.
Now, I've always thought if I put hours of work into decorating a cake, I might be a little bit sad when somebody takes a knife to it.
Yeah, right.
Did it bother you at first?
No, it doesn't, because actually they don't take a knife to it in my presence. Right?
You drop it off, and it's great,
they
walk
come
away.
they come to pick it and say, "Oh, it's so beautiful." Then I love that. Then take it off. I don't get to see them.
Okay, well that's good. Yeah, when you're gonna cut into my cake, keep it out of my sight.
Yeah. So we're just gonna pour this in.
Okay.
And we're going to whisk it. So I have the whisk here again.
Oh, this is gonna be good. The maple syrup will add a really nice, subtle flavor. I'm a big fan.
Yeah.
Do you ever need to add anything else, or is it typically the right consistency?
Yes, it is. By the time we're done whipping, you're gonna see
it's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you see.
Oh, and it's a pretty color.
So because we sieved it, there's no lumps inside, right? It's just flows so smoothly.
Note to self: don't be lazy.
Yeah.
It's worth the extra effort.
Yeah. So this is a piping bag. You can actually drizzle with a spoon. You don't have to use this. I just wanted to use this.
Yes. Well, it would make it better. We have on a previous episode, I did an attempt of drizzling, but it wasn't quite kind of melted enough. I don't know if it was chocolate. And I did get a lump, and I thought, oh no.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna put this in. Like you lift it up and pour it in. It just goes.
Look at that. Oh. See, this is another dish that I'd be licking.
So I'm just gonna use that quantity.
Do you tend to use the disposable ones, or do you tend to use the reusable piping bags?
I think it depends on what I'm doing. Like if I'm doing if I'm decorating the floral cupcakes, they need like some strength to the bag.
Yeah.
Else they're gonna bust.
Sure.
Right. So I use like the I used to use the washable ones, but it was such a headache cleaning. So I just get the thicker ones.
Okay. This seems pretty thick.
Yeah, so I get this ones. They're actually disposable. You can get to wash it too if you have the patience. So I use that. And for like if it's just regular buttercream, I use the disposable one because once I'm done, I just trash it.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yeah, so we're gonna make a very a small snip in here. So depending on how thick you want your drizzle to be. So when you push through, you're going to know if, like, let me just put it here. You're gonna see the thickness. If that's fine.
Oh, that's great.
Then,
yeah. Way better than when I blob it on with a spoon.
So I guess we'll have to let this cool because I think it's still a bit warm, right? So we're just gonna bring it out to see what it looks like. And I could just drizzle a little, right? It's like 4.
Sounds good. Yeah. Do you want me to move this out of the way?
So I can show you how to drizzle. So you just want to make like a back and forth movement, right? So let me show you one so you can see various thickness of the drizzle.
Yeah, great.
So these are...
Oh, it looks great.
So that's, you know, if you think this is too thin for me, like I want more. You just have to cut like a bigger snip. I don't want it going into the bag. So this is the bigger one.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. Yep.
And because it's
better to start small because you can't put it back on.
Yeah. So this is a bigger one and it goes.
Oh yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, I think that's a good size. I like that size. Yeah.
Compared to that, right?
Yes.
So do you want to try the other two?
Oh man, the pressure's on.
It's back and forth.
Okay. Oh, mine wasn't as good as yours. See, I need more practice, a little bit closer.
Start from the edge, Yay.
Better second attempt.
Yeah. So because I think the muffins are slightly warmer, that's why you're seeing it like get melting.
Yes.
Yeah. So, but once they cool down, it's gonna be nice and firm on each muffin. Yeah.
Friends, we have reached my favorite part of the show, the tasting part. This is where patience pays off. And these beautiful muffins, we're gonna give them a try.
Yeah.
Are you gonna dig in with me?
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
I'm just gonna go ahead and grab one here. Oh my goodness. I have much anticipation.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. Yes. I have a feeling this crumb topping is sometimes a little bit messy. You want to cheers?
Yeah,
cheers.
Okay, you've taken it all off.
I did.
Yeah. I need to like you. You like it?
Okay, it's better than my recipe. It's that crumb topping. And while it's warm, delicious. Before I get carried away, because I do get carried away, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for taking time and sharing an amazing recipe and some tips with us. Really helpful.
Yes.
And I know our friends at home baking along with us are gonna love this recipe.
I love it. It's my favorite.
And make sure to check out our website, Instagram, order a custom cake.
Yes, thank you so much. It was a pleasure being here. Thanks for having me.
Our pleasure.
Thanks for watching and see you next time on Baking for Change. Special thanks to Wendy Pauls and Opeyemi from the Cakery Zone, Red Path Sugar, Danby Appliances, and Community Christian Reformed Church.